What's going on, everybody? This is Dave from Post Rock Promo. I'm here with Carol from Midsommar from Warsaw, Poland. How's it going, Carol?
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me. Good evening for me. It's evening, so good morning for everybody.
Of course, man. Let's dive right into it. So, when and how did you guys form?
So we've started playing with this drummer that we are currently playing in 2018, and this is quite funny because we've started in the field playing in the field of post-punk, like the bands like early Joy Division or Gang of Four. It was like this field of music that we were interested at the beginning. But then when our guitarist joined us in the, I don't remember, it was probably December of 2018, we starting to shift to more ambient, to more post-rock atmospheric form of guitar-focused playing. And then in 2019, the vocalist Alia Faye, she has been already playing in other bands, for example, Makiwara and Hellroth. It was like some kind of quite popular in Poland ethno metal, folk metal bands. So we are starting to shifting once more toward more vocal focused music with this more I'm not sure how to call it, because her vocal could be sometimes quite epic. So we sometimes call it like a Nightwish kind of singing. Like in our AP, we have one or two songs in which you could hear this ethno influences. And we are trying to like a bit turn it into more shoegaze direction.
Very cool. So you guys released The Dream We Had in October. How's the response been?
You know, we've not been expecting so much positive feedback. We are literally shocked that so many people, not from Poland, but also from England, from USA, like contacting us, saying that they really enjoyed the EP. It's getting maybe, you know, shoegaze and dream pop was a never big thing in Poland. 30 years ago, when it had its birth in England on the late 80s, early 90s. In Poland, the genres that were really popular, it was like metal, punk, grunge, and even when the indie music started being a part of Polish culture, for example, Brit rock, Brit pop, shoegaze was already diminishing. It was already all the big bands, Slowdive, My Bloody Valentine, they were dissolving. So it was never a really popular thing in Poland. So what I'm saying right now when I'm talking to the Polish press is that we are experiencing something like the first wave of Polish shoegaze with bands like Kwiaty, Strangers in Our House, Rosa Vertov. All these bands are really cool. I really like all these guys. I'm always trying to get in touch with them and like integrate this small community. So I'm not trying to say that that Midsommar is getting really big in Poland, but in our like very limited community, we are getting quite impressive response. So I'm really glad about this.
That's awesome. So who do you guys record it with, and how's the process?
So, you know, we started a recording of this AP in the March of this year. We did it completely on our own. We did not get any label support, and it was just like us thinking about recording our AP. So we've just gathered money from our savings. We recorded it, and we've then started looking for someone to mix it. We really love the band Blankenberger from Russia, St. Petersburg. It was one of the bands that had a really big influence on us. We attended to their gig around 2019, I think, and they were really like great influence on us, and so we thought, why the hell not to look for their technician, the guy who mixed their album. So we found Mikhail Kurochkin from St. Petersburg. We contacted him, and he did all the mixing and mastering of our AP. And then we started to think, should we look for a small label? Because for a shoegaze band in Poland, it would be hard to find something different than a really small, like one-man label that has like 100 subscribers on YouTube. And my girlfriend, Nela, who is also a musician, told me, you know, Carol, these small labels have no experience in digital distribution. She was already working in the field of digital distribution, and she told me, you know, I know some tricks. I know how to pitch a song to editors on Spotify. I know some stuff that could be helpful, and we just did it on our own. So all this, I also worked in as a PR manager some time ago, and I knew how to contact with press in Poland and abroad. So all this publicities, all this reposts of our music, it's just our work. So we are quite glad that without any support of any label, we are able to like generate maybe not big, but for us quite impressive feedback.
That's awesome. So you're from Warsaw. How's the music scene there? Do you have a favorite local band, a favorite venue?
No, Warsaw music scene is quite vibrant, quite rich in interesting bands. But as far as you can, are you concerned with shoegaze and slow and dream pop bands? It's not that much of bands in Warsaw. Our favorite bands from Poland for this moment, I would say, there is Strangers in Our House. They are from Krakow. Another interesting band I've mentioned before is Kwiaty. They also have released their AP like 1 or 2 months ago. They are from Gdańsk, I think, from the northern Poland. There is also a band called Bez. They are from Poznań. I know that probably for you, for American, this cities that will not associate with anything precise, but there are a few bands in Poland, not specifically from Warsaw, that are creating something interesting in the field of shoegaze and dream pop. And when we are asking about the venues, about the places that are promoting interesting alternative music, I would say in Warsaw, if you will ever be in Warsaw, there are 2 places that you should visit for sure. One is Pogłos. It is quite famous around maybe more post-rock, new wave, alternative scene. So if there is any post-punk alternative interesting band playing in Warsaw, it will probably play Pogłos, which is Polish word for reverb. For example, Slow Crash is playing on January this next year in Pogłos. It will be quite a big thing. I cannot wait to listen to Slow Crash. And the second place is Chmury, Polish word for clouds, which is also quite popular place for shoegaze. This place is more focused on shoegaze and dream pop bands. This is the place where we have listened to a Blankenberger concert.
That's really cool that you have venues in Warsaw that are dedicated to shoegaze and dream pop and post rock and post punk.
Yes, among others, of course, because it would be really hard to like make a living of a place that is only focused on shoegaze and dream pop. But they like are captured in the broader spectrum of genres of independent music, and they are getting more and more attention. So this is something that I could say is really. This is a form of developing a shoegaze scene in Poland, slowly, but it's happening.
That's awesome, man. So who are your biggest influences?
For me, because in our bands there are my guitarist would say maybe different bands, but quite similar, I think. For me, it will be also always it will be Slowdive, the long play Suwłaki. It's like the best album of all time. You know, when you are thinking about shoegaze, and you're always will think about Slowdive, My Bloody Valentine, and Ride. I would say that Ride is like the furthest band for my music aesthetics. My Bloody Valentine is a bit closer, but like I would say that the biggest influence on my style of thinking about shoegaze and dream pop is Slowdive. I really love those guys. I have attended to their concert in 2014, or something like this, and this is one of the like gigs that you will remember forever. So Slowdive is the first band. The second, I would say Cocteau Twins, because most of our tracks are like closer to dream pop than to a shoegaze. They are not really, you won't find very much heavy, dense guitar, walls of sound in our tracks. Maybe on one or two, you'll find them, but not that much. So from the dream pop field, it will be Cocteau Twins, maybe Lash also. When I'm thinking about newer bands, I really enjoy listening to Weir. Some time ago, I liked Beach House. Now maybe a bit less. So I would say, as I mentioned, Slowdive, Cocteau Twins, Weir, and there is also one band that I forgot. Oh, of course, Blankenberger.
Some amazing bands there. So if you could tour with one of those bands, which one?
Obviously, I would. It's the biggest dream to have a tour with Slowdive, but I think it will never happen. I don't think it's possible for Slowdive to pick up some kind of Polish band from nowhere. But of course, it's a great dream that we are having. Maybe it's more possible for us to sometime somewhere have some kind of cooperation with Blankenberger. Sometimes I'm writing to them. We have some form of more or less distant contact, so they know about us. So maybe sometime we'll be able to play with Blankenberger, maybe. But of course, if I would have to choose from just one band, it would be Slowdive.
Yeah, I love them. They just dropped a new song, and then they're releasing their new album tomorrow, Blankenberger. And
Yeah.
I'm really stoked. Their new song is really good.
Yeah, this new song is really cool because the last single the previous single that they've dropped, it was some kind of electronics involved in it, and it was not really my style. But the new single is just pure Blankenberger, pure bliss. It's perfect.
That's awesome, man. So now I'm going to ask you some non-music questions. It's a good way for me to get to know you. I did this for the other bands I interviewed. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, obviously.
All right, first one. Best vacation that you've been on?
Best vacation I've been on, I would say Finland, because I'm really in love with Tove Jansson and Movins. It's quite funny because when people are asking me why our band is called Midsommar, they are always thinking about this horror movie, and I am always saying, I've never seen this movie, I don't like horrors, but I love Tove Jansson, I love Scandinavian culture, and my visit to Finland and looking at all these small islands, small wooden houses, the atmosphere of this place, it's really like shoegaze-ish. You can really absorb the atmosphere by being inspired by it.
That's awesome. When I think of Midsommar, I think of Midsummer's Night Eve, the play.
Okay, I've not seen it, unfortunately.
I'll definitely check it out.
Okay, I will.
Favorite TV show?
Oh, that's a hard one. If you would ask me about a series one, I would say Twin Peaks, for obvious reasons, because I love Julie Cruz music, and this is one of the shows that influenced my imagination and my sensitivity. The atmosphere of this whole series is quite dreamy and nightmarish sometimes, but most of the time it's dreamy. So from the series point of view, I would say it's the Twin Peaks. But on the other hand, I'm a great fan of The Office. Jim and Pam will always be one of my favorite TV characters all the time, and it's quite funny because the Polish version of The Office have just dropped in Poland and started to getting bigger and bigger.
There's a Polish version. That's awesome.
Yes. Just first season. It's a loose adaptation, but it's quite. When I first heard about it, I was really skeptical. I've seen the trailer and I said, they are destroying it. They will destroy my favorite show. But actually, when it was released, it happened to be quite good.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
But we will want find English captions.
Oh, I'm cool with them speaking in Polish, not understanding what they're saying.
Okay, if you say.
You can always learn Polish.
Oh, it's not an easy task. It's one of the hardest languages to actually to learn.
That's what I've heard. I've heard Polish is really hard. I've heard German's hard. I've tried German. It's not easy.
Yeah, but German is way easier than Polish.
Really?
Yeah, really. The
Interesting.
declination, for example, for one verb, for one adjective, you have so many forms. The declinations, conjugations. For example, like for a word, I don't know, to go somewhere, you will have 20 or 30 forms depending on the person, time. Like everything is different for like each declination.
Oh, that would mess with me.
Yeah, this is really hard language.
If you could go back in time and talk to one world leader or person of influence, who would it be?
Ooh, I studied philosophy, so obviously it would be great to meet Socrates, but you are asking about politicians and world leaders, right?
It could be a dead musician. It could be a politician. It could be a general in the army.
Oh my God, I have not expected this question and I did not think it through, but let's think. Just one.
Just one.
Okay. It would be great to meet Franz Kafka or maybe Albert Camus and talk up to them about their philosophy, about their literature, because I've always loved these two guys. One of other guys, maybe Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, it's one of my favorite writers, French writers, author of Little Prince, among other pieces. So maybe just stay with these three guys. Oh, I was about to mention one, right?
You're good.
Okay. So Antoine de Saint-Exupéry would be the one.
Very cool. So if you had $1 million and you could donate it to any charity, which one?
Just one. You know, a few months ago, I got my dog from a shelter, and a shelter is a big word for the place that it was where I took him from. It was already something more similar to like concentration camp for dogs, and in Europe, especially in Eastern Europe, there are still places where the dogs are kept in terrible conditions, where they are like people are making money from buying them from local governments, because local governments have to like collect stray dogs and then give away these dogs, like give those dogs to shelters, and they are always choosing the cheapest ones. So I would donate some kind of probably Polish organization that is fighting for animal rights in Central Europe.
All right, last question. What are some places in Warsaw that visitors should check out?
The best or worst?
What's that?
You've asked about the best places in Warsaw for us visitors to check out?
What are some places in Warsaw that visitors should check out?
Okay, so for sure, if you're into alternative music, you should check Pogłos. It's a music club. It has an atmosphere of some kind of squat. You will not enjoy it if you are looking for a fancy dinner, more if you are looking for a anarchistic, punkish place and for listening alternative music. I would recommend you to take a walk along Vistula Boulevards in Warsaw. It's quite funny because on one side of Vistula River, you have fancy restaurants, you have music clubs, you have vegetarian restaurants, all the stuff that we would connect with big modern city. And on the other side of the Vistula River, you have like a forest and meadows, and it's completely wild nature. So you could like pass a bridge in Warsaw and get from completely cosmopolitan center of a city and just can see wild nature, deers, and I don't know, hedgehogs. So Vistula Boulevards, Pogłos, Warsaw Uprising Museum, because as you could probably know, the history of Warsaw during the Second World War was quite tragic. So this is one of the places that it's not a typical museum. It's very interactive, very modern. If you would like to experience what has happened to Poland, and especially for Warsaw during the World War II, you have to visit Warsaw Uprising Museum. So maybe this trip.
You'll have to take me to all those places when I get over there.
Yeah, obviously, you're most invited.
Poland and Warsaw are on my bucket list.
Yeah, so if you ever are planning to visit Warsaw or Poland, please let me know.
The plan is to go back to Europe next summer, hopefully for tour. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, first I have to get my passport updated.
Okay, I understand.
So it's going to take a little bit. But if I have to push it till the fall, to next fall, so be it. But I'm itching to get back over there just because I miss all my friends over there, and I miss the culture and the history and the beer and the food and the girls.
Okay, obviously, if you ever are coming to Warsaw, I will show you how to drink vodka with a Slav.
Okay, sounds good. I mean, I'm not a big liquor guy, I'm a big beer guy, but I mean, hey, when in Poland, do as the Polish do.
I'll show you how it's done in Poland.
Heck yeah. Well, I really appreciate you, man, coming on and chatting up a little bit. The support means a lot to me.
Yeah, and thank you very much for inviting me and inviting us. It's our first international interview, so it's quite a big thing for us. And big thanks for you.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm flattered. So for the people, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No.
I know what were you gonna say?
No, I was not saying anything particular. So go on.
Okay. Well, for the people that are gonna watch this later, where can they find you guys at?
You mean in the internet?
Yes.
So we have our, if you are talking about social media, our most active profile is on Facebook. I'm not really into Instagram. We are sometimes active on Instagram, but the Facebook is our main social media channel. We are not having TikTok channel, but first it's Facebook, then Instagram, and obviously two most our important music social media channels is our Spotify. You will always find our singles first on the Spotify, and then Bandcamp. So obviously, if you would like to support us, please visit our Bandcamp page. You could buy our singles, you could buy our whole AP. You could just listen to our songs. It's not mandatory to buy our songs, but it will always be a very good form of support if you will follow us on Bandcamp and Spotify.
Awesome.
And one more thing, unfortunately, our Facebook and Instagram is in Polish only. So if you would like to get to know us better, it's probably best way to follow us on Spotify and Bandcamp.
You always translate it.
Yeah, obviously, but if you are lazy, you won't have to.
Sounds good, man. Well, I hope you have a great night, and we'll chat soon.
Yeah, thank you very much once more for inviting us, and have a great day.
Of course. See ya.
See ya.